What? I just got... Not fair, Facebook. I just got a notice of something. I'm restricted. Let's see. This isn't going live anyway. Well, I don't know. Let's see who pops in, if anyone. Remove this destination from the broadcast. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Let's put it there. StreamYard has lost access to my Facebook account. Well, maybe we're just live on YouTube then. I don't even know where we are. Hi, is there anybody here? Check 1 2, check 1 2. And I'm gonna light some sage and let's see. Let's clear out the airwaves. So interesting is if anybody caught my story this morning, there were chemtrails. I knew there was interference today. Let's see, am I live on my Facebook page? Hey, somebody's here. I'm live somewhere. I'm live somewhere in the ether. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm live here. What a day. Interesting, interesting. All right, well, let's take it from the top, everybody. The records are now open. Welcome. All right, this makes an awesome sound when I ding it, but it also invites this kind of sound. Yeah, the records are now open. Hi, Ray. Say hello once you get here. We're going to have some fun up in here today. And as always, if you're a first timer, let me know as well. I always like to make our first timers feel welcome in this space and invite all of our regulars to do the same. The more we truly let down our guard, get to know each other, say hello to somebody, we open up that heart space of human connection and we begin creating new relationships. It's so cool. You can just reach out to somebody and instantly be their friend here on Facebook. This is an interesting place on social media where we get to look at how our paradigms of interaction are shifting and changing, how we get to show up, how we get to be self-expressed. All of this is the medicine of the modern age. Welcome. We are going to dive into the Akashic Records. So if this is the first time we are meeting, my name is Emily Harrison, and I'm the founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. I discovered in 2015 that I had a profound connection, a gift to connect into the Akashic Records. And what I decided to do once I got really excited about this knowingness, this awareness of myself, and I began to think about how I could help others with it. And it inspired me to turn other people on to their own records rather than become an Akashic record reader. So I dove into meditation with my own guides and my masters and my teachers and my loved ones, all of those who gather for us in the space of the Akashic Records. And I said, how do I get to show up and best express and share this lineage with the planet? And I felt very compelled to teach, to share with other humans, visionaries, thought leaders, how to flip this switch back on so that we can have access to super conscious intelligence in every moment of our lives, for guidance, for direction, for healing, for master level genius and creativity. I find that so many of the visionaries, thought leaders, and healers that I work with are here to not only bring back legacy of hidden wisdom or information, they're wisdom keepers, but they're here to innovate as well. They're here to create, put a new spin on things. I find that there's a lot of innovative energy medicine that can be created within the Akashic Records, with myself, with clients. That's actually what you're going to get a taste of when I talk about energy transmissions that will come through. Another way to say this would be like energy medicine or quantum shifting. We're going to work with the energy to move energy differently through our bodies And I love sharing this with you all. And we have a very intimate crowd here right now. So for those of you who are here, let's get down to business. I invite you, type your questions in the chat. Anywhere where you have a question that you would like me to tap in and channel through wisdom and guidance from the Akashic Records. I'll tap into your record specifically. Okay, and while I'm waiting for those questions to roll in, let me just give anyone who's new an abridged version of what the Akashic Records are. Okay, I say abridged version because this realm of consciousness holds so much information, and there's so much that we can do with it that putting it into an abridged version can be challenging. However, I've got the spiel down, okay? So the Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness where all information exists. All data, past, present, all potential futures. So the future exists in infinite possibility. And once we learn to tap into the records, we have a lot more influence over which future we experience. And there are beautiful energy techniques and tools and practices and ways that we can bring this medicine into our everyday lives to create alignment with the future that we want. All right, so let's get some questions rolling up in here. Somebody's got to have some questions. Bring this medicine into... 2 comments so far. Come on, let's ask some questions. Oh, my mom is here and Joe Fox is here. How's my shoulder? My shoulder's doing good. I guess I'm going to tell you all stories if you don't ask questions. So I did just get back from Mount Shasta, which is one of my favorite places on the planet. There is incredible energy, medicine, and a lot of shadow being transmuted right now through the vortexes, through the seekers, the individuals that go there. Like if you go into Mount Shasta or you go into a vortex, right now, people be ready, because if you are here to do powerful work on the planet and you're not fully standing in it, which not fully standing in it can look like a lot of things. Maybe you're sitting there and you know that you have potential and you know that there are ways that you need to show up and you're not fully showing up. Okay? I don't necessarily relate to that one. I've been in that position before. But we all have challenges about where our shadow expresses, right? Okay, so here's where my shadow expresses. My mom asked about my shoulder. How do you know that I cracked my collarbone? So 2 days before I was going into Mount Shasta, I'd been in my office, I'd been editing and working on a big project, and I needed to get outside. So I grabbed my 15-year-old and we went out and started riding this rundown scooter. My 18-year-old picks up this rundown scooter from the skate park. He's going to fix it up and give it to a little dude that he knows. But in the meantime, this broken down scooter is sitting in the driveway. So what else to do but to ride it? And London and I started riding the scooter. And he said, "Mom, full send it." And I don't back down from a challenge. So I full sent the scooter down the driveway several times successfully. It was the 3rd time that I hit the rock, followed by the crack in the asphalt, and just ate it so hard, you all, so hard. Woo! And here's what to do. The only reason that I felt like I knew what to do in that moment is because a master friend of mine, true master, her name is Amanda Masters. Amanda Masters, I love you. Many years ago, she fell and broke her elbow, and she knew that she was very injured, but she immediately began speaking to her body, to herself. So I instantly said, okay, my cells are healing, my cells are healed, and I set that paradigm in motion. But I knew that I was really injured too. And I called London over to check me out. Here's the lesson behind it. Okay, and 2 days before I was going into a really important mission and project on Mount Shasta. I did not want to show up maimed to this project. Okay. 48 hours before I go, I have this massive incident, and I instantly realized, and also cosmically, I knew that this was being invited forward with the eclipse, with the signatures of the end, the moons, the new moons and the full moons that we'd been experiencing, that it's time to give up the stories that are not serving you. And this is where my shadow comes in, is that I've taken a lot of personal like satisfaction, worth. I've given myself a lot of credit for showing up and getting things done by myself if I have to. Take no prisoner, no excuses why not to show up, even if that means doing everything myself. And so I have a story around doing everything myself, and I get to experience what that story, what ripples that creates in my family and in my business. And I don't like it. And I have been bitching and bitching and bitching about it for a long time. And this was the final invitation to release that story, because instantly London came to check me out. I have a lot more mobility now. Ooh, there's a little right there. Some places when I move it, and it starts to ache at times. I put my sling back on. I have a sling over there out of frame. But I wasn't able to do the normal things that I do, cooking and cleaning, and the kids had to show up instantly. And I realized, Emily, it is no longer appropriate and definitely not true that you don't have anybody showing up for you. You instantaneously had all the help that you need. So that became the new story that I claimed in that moment. But it makes sense. Anytime that you're going into a vortex, you're going into a personal quest for medicine, for enlightenment, for higher levels of wisdom. I was really calling forth the next levels of leadership and evolving my teacher as I was going into this experience. So it makes sense that I got to give up the stories too. So that's the answer to the question about how my shoulder was. I hope that there was medicine in that for you all. Amy McPhee says, "Whoa, I found a live." Joe Fox is here. All right, so we want questions. Let's tap into some of your all's questions. It would be my honor and privilege to share with you this cool thing that I can do that I discovered in 2015 that you can do too. And again, the way that I love to show up in this medicine is holding space for each one of you who is ready to flip this switch back on and be able to do what I do. Not like I do it, definitely. We all do it differently. But to have your own instantaneous flow of access. And if you feel like you lose it, know how to turn it back on. All right, so Ray says, lots of energies coming in, and I'm feeling a little confused around what direction to take. Lots of new ideas. So can my records give me some direction? Oh yeah, baby. Okay. First thing coming in that the guides want to share is that this is, it's a pattern coming in. We're opening up to a lot of new dimensional frequencies and energies coming in, which are bringing in access to new ideas, which is why there's so much alive for us to grab in the field. The challenge becomes knowing where to put our focus and making an informed decision about what our soul wants to learn and what our soul wants to encounter. Okay, and this is really at the heart of how relationships are shifting all over the planet. Whether it's your relationship with money, whether it's your relationship with your intimate partners, whether it's, sorry, my hair's getting stuck in my eyelashes. 1 second. Whether it's your relationship with your kids, clients, relationship to yourself, the nature of relationships are changing. And this paradigm that the guides showed me came in first in understanding masculine and feminine relationships and how those are shifting and changing. But the more I understand this, the more I can see this same template working everywhere. It's about relationships, okay? It's about The old paradigm of relationships is based on trauma. We act 95% out of our subconscious energies, which have stored trauma, where we don't fully understand ourselves. We don't fully understand the other person. Things got all fucked up. We got sad. We got hurt. Our feelings got hurt. We got anger, resentment, fear. Okay. You know what I'm talking about? Trauma, right? So relationships previously were based on trauma. Think about romantic relationships that come together, masculine and feminine. They come together out of the wound, and then the anchoring of the relationship becomes wrapped around, I'll protect where you're wounded, and you protect where I'm wounded. Think about that in terms of relationship to the self as well. How many times do you show up in relationship with yourself and act out of the wound? Look at your relationship with money. If you haven't read Happy Money, read Happy Money. It's the good one. I've been sharing that with my thank you, arigato to the money everywhere. Most people, if you still have restriction and constraint in your finances, it's because you don't have a good relationship with money yet. And it's probably because you're acting out of the wound. Okay? Here's what we get to create now if we show up and do the work and clear out the trauma, the wound, the karma, the unlearned lessons, the areas where we don't have enough awareness. We have very limited awareness, and so we're just acting in the pain or the shadow or the density. That has got to go. So once we recognize, and Ray, you do the work at a really high level, powerful visionary here in the house, Ray. Oh, and just as I'm acknowledging you, I feel the vortex coming in and getting a little dizzy. I did this recently, and it requires a beginner's mind because you're like me and you've done a ton of work. So let me invite you back into beginner's mind and begin to see and ask for guidance. Your records are saying, and this is for anybody who wants, by the way, if the message resonates when I'm sharing the message with you and you're not right, it's for you to receive it. Okay? So Ray, I'm going to invite you to, with beginner's mind, look and ask the records for support in illuminating your thoughts and ideas and see where your mind, let me get this, wait, I want to get this one all the way up too. Ow, I can't hold it all the way up there. I wanted to point the mind, okay? You get it. Where your mind might still be attached to old paradigms of thought, like collective paradigms, that don't align with or honor what you truly want. So the new paradigm for everybody here, the new paradigm of relationship is, what does my soul desire to experience? What do I want to experience? And I have an even better way to ask that question, because part of the problem is that we will not really claim what it is that we want because we're ashamed of ourselves to claim all of the abundance and the love and the resource and the opportunity and the fun and the creativity and the adventure that we want in life, because not me. I see my limitations around it. But this is a challenge for humans right now. That's actually part of the old imprisonment programming. So that's a challenge, is getting clear with what the soul wants to experience. So that's invitation number 2, coming in from the records. They're telling you what questions to ask to unlock the answers rather than just telling you today. That's because Ray works at such a high level. Okay, so question number 1 is, where is my mind still locked into, I don't know, whatever feels alive for you. Slavery consciousness was what I just heard. And when I looked at this through beginner's mind, Ray, oh man, there's a lot of places where I'm slave to my kids. I'm slave, like a lot. I found a lot of things in there. Shocked me. I was like, Emily? But those are all places where I get to unhook, right? And then I get to ask myself, what do I really want? So question number 2 is getting clear about what you really want. And again, because this question is so riddled and constricted with all of the shit that we don't feel like claiming in public that we actually want, let me give you a different way. Let me give you a different inquiry. Different question, different road up the same mountain. Okay? It's a 2-parter. What are my superpowers? And what would be wildly fun to me? Because following bliss, I asked a really cool question on Facebook. That's probably several weeks ago now. But I said, what is your primary navigation tool? I got some good answers. And I said, I'm experimenting with bliss. That's come in from my guides. It's also been confirmed and come straight through the Mitchell Hedges Crystal and Skull that I work with, Bill Holman and the Mitchell Hedges Crystal Skull. Bill can't share it enough with, there's a certain level of training in the Akashic Academy where the healers and quantum thinkers and visionaries and myself meet with Bill in the Skull every month. Twice a year, we meet in person in the vortexes, and then we meet on Zoom every single month, and Bill gets to support each one of them individually with the skull. It's really, really cool. But following the bliss, it's following the bliss. You got to follow the bliss, okay? And getting back in touch with bliss might be a process for some of you. Get to it. What makes you happy? What makes you excited? I like to travel. I like to experience new things. I like to share with you all. Okay? All right, so I feel like that is complete on the guidance that they want to bring in, but I do want to bring in a transmission too. So let me tap it and see what comes alive for. All right, they want to, I wish I had my drum in here. I don't know that I could hold my drum yet. I'm really into sound healing right now. I got a new drum while I was in Shasta that I will play for you guys at some point, but it's big. I got the big one, and with my main shoulder, I don't know if I can hold it and let all of the sound ring out, but I want to activate some sound here, and I want to specifically direct this sound in a clearing of the shame around what we want to experience. Okay. Breathe that sound in. Practice breathing in sound, the guides are saying. See if you can breathe it in through your solar plexus. This takes a lot of courage. Good. One more. As you have courage to stand in truth about what it is that you really want to experience here on the planet, you're going to create the space for others to step into that as well. And it's really, really important right now. Okay. I felt like there was one more piece to that they wanted to do in the activation, and I feel like I lost it. Let me just drop back in and see if I can locate that. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, they want us to work with the lower Dantian too. So they want to acknowledge the chakras, and the chakras being the spinning energy vortexes. We have 7 main chakras that move up and down the crystalline tube. There are a lot more more even outside of the crystalline tube. But this is one way to begin to start understanding and tapping into our quantum energies or our subtle energy body. Okay, you can also tap into the aura. That's the energy that's radiating off of us. Okay, you can tap into the sacred geometry as it comes off the body, like the Merkaba. Maybe you've heard of the Merkaba or the Merkaba, or the toroidal field moving off of the body. These are different quantum verbiages, okay? And I would say they come from different lineages, different aspects of culture, knowledge, understanding. I want to bring your awareness to the Taoist understanding. And the Taoists use the understanding of the Dantian. 3 Dantian. There's a lower Dantian, which is in like your lower gut area, your middle Dantian, and then your upper Dantian. Okay. Gut brain, heart brain, Akashic brain. You could look at it that way. I want to drop you into your lower Dantian because the lower Dantian, and if I were to lay the lower Dantian, imagine this big, maybe like a cup or a golden bowl in your lower belly, your gut area. If I were to overlay that on the chakra system that I just really briefly explained, that lower Dantian would hold those lower 3 chakras, your root, sacral, and solar plexus, which is where we were just moving the energy. These lower 3 chakras really govern your 3rd dimensional physical experience, what your life looks like here on the planet. Okay, and how much joy you can hold. This is the second part. The guides want to clear out this lower Dantian and open up this energy channel so that you can hold more joy in these lower chakras, where you are creating feedback loops based on the energy frequencies, based on thoughts, a lot of subconscious thoughts too in these lower energy areas. They govern your safety and security on life. Remember how we talked about relationship to self? Okay, they're bringing this full circle now. In this lower Dantian, these lower chakras that I'm talking about, is where you experience your relationship to yourself and how you feel about yourself showing up here on the planet, which means your safety and security, your emotions, your creativity, where you store emotions, and your personal power. Holding joy and feeling safe holding joy in these areas, this is why they wanted to bring us in here. Woo, you guys, you're feeling it, right? You're like, oh shit. Yep. I see where it's hard to hold joy. In one of those areas or multiple of those areas that we talked about. Okay, so I want you to imagine big copper bowl. I'm going to grab a different crystal bowl. Hopefully I don't fall off my chair. Whoa, 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 whoa. I do my own stunts. Okay. So you can even imagine lower Dantian as being like this crystalline bowl here. I'm going to hold it here at the lower Dantian. And again, we're going to breathe in. I want you to imagine your lower Dantian expanding. Okay. Opening up. Opening more. Fully opening now. Attempt to play this for you all. Expanding. Practice feeling joy in your lower body. Even if it's uncomfortable, stay with it. Feel all aspects of those lower chakras and what they govern here on the planet, aligning to a frequency of joy. So imagine feeling joy in your everything that makes you feel safe on the planet. So your emotional safety, your physical safety, your financial safety, your spiritual safety. What if there was not only profound resource and safety in all of those areas, but also joy? And what about in your emotions? What if there was a part of you that could love and embrace all of your emotions so that they could flow? You no longer had to stuff them, ignore them. It doesn't work. What if you brought joy, could bring joy into the emotions? Feel that clearing. This frequency is attuning you to be able to step into that. Hopefully your eyes are closed so you don't see how clunkily I'm playing this thing. All right. Personal power. Imagine feeling joy. So empowered and confident. And kindness, the guys are saying, remember, bring in that kindness. We want kindness and compassion behind our confidence. But imagine being able to feel so much joy in how you got to show up and express yourself. Oh yeah, there's the bowl going. Let your frequencies align. Follow these last 3 chimes with your awareness. Just follow it. Follow it until you can't hear it anymore. And when you can no longer hear the sound, imagine it, recreate it in your body. See if you can feel it. Good. Bring in that sense awareness. This is really where all the activation is now. The more you can bring your awareness to holding that frequency in your memory, your sense memory, just keep holding it, holding it, holding it. It's going to fully lock in a line. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, exhale, come on back. Well, that was certainly fun. Thank you, Ray. How many of you had fun? Oh, reach, Emily, go, gadget arm. I had so much fun with you all today. All right. Share with me, please, in the comments, what was your biggest takeaway from today? Biggest takeaway, your biggest aha moment. I want to witness you in whatever dropped in for you today. It's always my intention. I don't always share it or state it out loud, but I try to, and I'll share with you all who are here with me now. It's always my intention that those of you who are seeking information, puzzle pieces, that the next piece that you need drop in from this time that we spend together. And maybe it doesn't drop in during this time. I actually tell my clients and my students when I work with them, 90% of what we do now happens after the session. Notice new thoughts coming in. If you have new thoughts after hanging out here, thank you. It's all about opening up thought frequency. That means that it's working. And it's my true joy, honor, and pleasure to be here with you all. I am going to wrap up, however, because I do hear my kid is home, and it's my honor and pleasure to take him out shopping. He needs some new clothes. Hello, I'm almost done. I have this thing with my kids where I like to put together collections for them. I'm glad that they like my fashion advice. So we're going to head out and do some mom and son shopping. Make sure he looks like a stud when he's out there visionarying around the planet. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here with me. If this has been valuable to you, please share this out. And I will be back here with you again very soon for more Akashic Answers with Emily. I'll see you next time.